Good morning, everyone. Rodney here. I guess I'll go ahead and bring you in, Dom. Morning or evening?
I think you caught me on the hop there. It's now good morning because it's after midnight.
Okay, good morning. It's fun viewing. Good morning, Dennis Lovelady. Howdy. Judy's Handmade Creations. Good morning. So how you doing, Dom?
Yeah, I'm all right now. I'm just a little bit tired, but that's all right.
Oh my gosh, just after midnight there.
Yeah, you gotta suffer for your art sometimes.
Yeah, well, if you get more time getting rest instead of being on all these live streams, dude.
Yeah, I did have a sleep this afternoon. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What was it, a whole hour?
Yeah, probably an hour and a half in anticipation. So.
Gotcha. Michael Blade, good morning. So Dennis should be popping in momentarily for a little bit anyway. If he can't make it, well, there he is. Speak of the devil.
Yes.
The devil.
Yeah.
Wait. Howdy.
Hi.
So what were you saying about the devil when I so rudely interrupted?
Well, I was saying that Dennis was going to be popping in here for a minute shortly, and just as I started to say it, you popped up, and
Oh, now I know what's going on. This thing is upside down.
Huh?
Oh, I have to. It's a long story. Anyway, my volume control wasn't where I expected. I was trying to make it louder, and nothing was happening.
So you got some stuff going on at the church today, huh?
Yes, sir. We got a landscaping project going on. I have no idea what it entails, but they said bring shovels and rakes and implements of construction.
Yeah, sounds like it might be fun.
It should be, yeah. Let's see what the temperature is now. Let's see here. 30.
Each. Good morning.
30. And if I look at the hourly forecast, by noon, it should be all the way up to 48 degrees.
Yay.
Stephen Jones, good morning. I think I agree with everything you say there. Fly for fun, fly safe, fly for fun, fly VLO. What's VLOS?
Virtual line of sight.
Oh, virtual
line of sight.
Yeah.
Yes.
And don't fly over people. So Tej is at a meetup this morning.
What sort of meetup did he go to without inviting us?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I guess they have a meetup every weekend down there in South Florida now.
Yeah, probably. Sounds great.
That's some secret place, very likely, since Ray Kelly is.
Probably. So, anyway, I'm probably not going to be on long today.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go shortly, but I wanted to pop in and say howdy. Wish you
I appreciate that.
Happy live stream. And don't forget maybe it's today, sometime near today is Brad Alston's birthday.
Actually, his birthday is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Well, happy birthday tomorrow, Mr.
He said the 19th.
Okay, I'll get him again tomorrow.
That whole thing started. Somebody said happy birthday to him. He goes, "Oh, it's not until tomorrow, but thank you." And it just rolled downhill from there.
Yeah, well, that stuff does.
Hey.
So.
Dano.
Hey, Dano.
Hey, Dano. John, Mr. JRC is going to be coming up next Friday. This coming Friday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So he's going to meet us up at the church, and hopefully Brad and Al will be able to come. And
that is one man that
I
don't know him, but as much as we know most of the people in the chats, right? It's one of the people that I've known maybe for the longest, and I've never seen his face.
Yeah, that's a way with a lot of the people we know.
Yeah.
107 Drones. Good day.
Hey, Barkley.
Barkley, how you doing?
All right.
AZ Drone Dude, David, good morning.
David, Silas.
Silas Seeger, good morning.
At least I don't need to put a suit and a bow tie on today.
What was that?
I said, at least I don't need to put a suit and a bow tie on today.
Oh, true. You wear bow ties?
I do. I'm the only one that I know I decided I was going to learn how to tie them. And of course, I use YouTube to do that, right? But anyway, so it became a habit with me. So I've been doing it for years.
Cool. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I haven't worn a bow tie since I was a kid, but well, I take that back. I wore a bow tie when I married my first wife.
And that's why you stopped
wearing bow ties. I'm not going to say that.
I said it for you, so there you go.
Thank you. Jerry Bauer, good morning.
Jerry.
Let's see, who have I missed? Everybody see, I said hello to Jerry, Barkley, Dano, David, AZ Drone Dude. Yeah, I think I said hi to everybody. Steven Drones, Teach. It's fun viewing. Good morning.
Here we go.
Jerry says, I don't trust anyone wearing a bow tie.
Oh, well, I'm not wearing a bow tie now. You can trust
Blind
me.
Neil.
Blind Neil, good morning.
A few hours every Sunday. You can't really trust me then, I guess.
So, yeah, I hope to do some flying today. I've got to go out to the church and get the slides ready for the preacher tomorrow. We got a return preacher.
Yeah, you mentioned that. This is not the guy that you introduced me to. You know what I mean. It's not the guy from Africa, right?
Yeah, he is the guy from Africa.
Oh, okay. I thought I recognized that name, but I wasn't sure.
It's the same guy, and in a lot of ways, I'm kind of glad to see him, come back because I think he's an excellent preacher.
I think so too. Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, we're still without a pastor, so our presbyter's church is sending people every so often to preach for us, and we've got men in our own church that do preaching every now and then. So you've heard some of them, Dennis, Terry Foreman, and Josh Monroe. They have both been preaching. So, and then David Meadows is another one of our young men in the church. He's been associated with that church ever since he was a little kid. He started going to school at the church's school there.
My goodness.
Quite a few number of years. In fact, him and his wife both went to school there, and that's where they met, and they ended up getting married, and they got 2 kids now, and they're doing homeschooling. So, One Visionario, good morning.
So I want to know, Barkley 107 Drones put in the chat, Rodney the science guy. What is that all about?
I have no idea. I think he might be referencing because we were talking about you wearing bow ties. He may have confused me with you, which
heaven forbid
that could even happen.
I'm sorry, Rodney. In case that happened, I'm very, very sorry.
You should be.
I am. Okay, I'm gonna go. I can't dilly-dally. So,
all right, Dennis, you have a good one, brother.
Thanks, you too.
Be safe out there working at the church today.
Yeah, I didn't know about the thing.
It sounds like it's cold.
Yeah, it's silly, but it'll be good for working. Yeah, don't forget about those people in Ohio. I don't know anything about it, but
yeah, the only thing I heard, there was a train wreck in Ohio.
yeah. All right.
So,
Well,
and apparently some chemical got spilled.
yeah. I'll find out more about it later. But all right, you guys take care. Thanks
Later,
for having
brother.
me. Bye-bye now.
Well, Dom, I guess it's just you and me for right now.
Yeah, it's back to you and me now. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Maybe we can get someone to come in.
And rustle up someone.
I mean, I'm not going to be on. I'll
I'll
probably. What time is it now? I'll probably end at 9, so that's 15 minutes from now.
Yep.
But if anybody wants to come in, there's the link. It's in the chat.
Yep.
I'll leave it up for about 30 seconds, and then I'm going to take it down. So if you want to join us, please feel free to do so.
Okay.
So Barkley, are you going to be? You got anything going on with Ken Herron in the next week or two? I know you've been hanging out with him quite a bit. Something I would like to do, I think.
Yeah.
I like Ken.
I certainly would too.
So now you wake up.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for mine to finally.
She laid right over here in her bed, sleeping.
Yep.
The moment I go live, she, it must be time.
Yep, the moment I turn on my computer, here we go. Ronnie.
Hey. Oh, Cat, come on. Mel.
Hey.
Oh, finally. Hello, Mel.
Dominic, Rodney.
How's it going, brother?
Morning, everybody.
Yep.
So are you back live streaming now?
Not yet. I've done a couple tests and stuff, and they seem to have gone well, but I'll be on the laptop for the next unforeseeable future after today because I'm on a road trip starting tomorrow morning. So
okay.
Yeah. So
where are you going?
I may be doing a lot of live streaming. I might be using the laptop, might be using the phone. I'll definitely be live streaming on my TikTok channel. Y'all need to go follow that. Whatever, it just, yeah. So
where are you heading out to?
Well, I'm going to go back over to Fort Smith. I'm going to go to Muskogee. I might go to St. George, Utah. I don't know.
Wow. So you're going to meet up with Lloyd, I take it?
Yeah.
Cool. We had a lot of fun the day I met up with him.
Well, when I'm in Fort Smith, I'm only an hour and a half, and it's kind of funny. I was there in Fort Smith almost 3 years, and neither Lloyd nor I made the trip to, an hour and a half drive. It's kind of like, what the hell? You know how it is.
Yeah. Hey, the View Chaser, Danny, good morning. One Vision Aerial, hello. He says he hopes to see you streaming again, Mel.
Yeah, got to meet me at Minefield. That's true. I did. I met some folks at Minefield that follow me, and I follow them here and there. And, there's just so many, you just can't follow them all,
I know.
It's, I busted 1,000 subscribers on my TikTok channel, and I'm following 300 or 400, but you just can't follow all 1,000 or all 5,000. Or imagine somebody like Ken Herron or Ken Dono or Kelly Shores, with hundreds of thousands of followers. There's just no way you can follow all them people yourself,
I know.
I mean, you can go click subscribe on their channel, but that'd probably be the only time you ever visit it,
Well, I try to get around to. Well, I try to get around to people's channels, but like you said,
well, I see that you busted 1,000 and now you're able to monetize and stuff. So that's really cool. But are you following 1,000 channels? 1,000 plus?
I'm following about a little under 1,000.
Huh. Okay.
Last time I looked,
I don't know how to tell. I don't think there's a thing that tells you how many you're following, is there?
well,
Is there a stat for that?
if you look under subscriptions on your regular page,
Yeah.
it'll list a few subscriptions, and then it'll say there's like a little arrow that says view 900. Like for me, it was 975. So I've probably got maybe over a little over 980 maybe.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to go to YouTube Studio. Let's see if that's
okay. Yeah. I just clicked that thing. 671 is what mine said.
So I assume that's listing all the people you're subscribed to.
Yeah, it's well, it's got 367 here in the list that I can physically see, and then it says show 671 more. So I guess I'm following 678 out of 1,500. So about half, I guess, based on that.
Yeah, I'm up to 1,093 subscribers now. Woo-hoo.
Mm.
And I'm probably not going to monetize.
Well, I didn't know that you have to. I thought once you were monetized. But if you fall below that monetization standard requirement, they can demonetize you.
Is that right?
And well, they sent me an email saying, "Hey, you're slipping, dude. Get with it, or we're going to take your money away from you." And I thought, well, by God, if you're going to take my $32 every 90 days, you can goddamn have the shit if you need it that much more worse than I do.
Hey, Jackson RC, Chris, he's in Daytona International Speedway.
Daytona they're in Daytona Beach. When I heard you guys talking about NASCAR earlier today, and NASCAR Daytona actually started on the beach in Daytona.
Yeah, yeah. Part of the race was on the beach. So,
but does anybody remember where or how NASCAR actually came about, the racing? How did that? Does anybody remember or know how that actually got started in the very first place, in the very beginning?
Well, I've always heard it was because of moonshine runners.
Yep, it was the moonshine runners, and that is a true fact. That's how, because once they got their shine made, then it became a race to get it out there and sold before somebody else could get theirs out there and sold.
Yeah.
So it was a cutthroat business back then.
Mr. JRC, good morning, John. So, yeah,
I want to convert my 5-inch to digital.
Runner.
What's that?
My grandfather, my mom's father,
yeah,
was a moonshine runner. That's how he got so good at working on cars. In fact, he was so good working on cars that people, when he was alive and running his garage there in Catoosa, Oklahoma, he had people coming all the way from Tulsa and Claremore and other cities around there because he was so good at it.
Yep, that's pretty common, actually.
So, God bless America. Ronnie has a recipe for a cholesterol sandwich.
Oh, great to hear.
Yeah, four slices of deli ham, 4 slices of bacon, 2 fried eggs between 2 slices of 5-grain bread. Yum, yum.
Oh, yes.
It does sound
Sounds
good.
delicious.
Scott, Jackrabbit FPV, good morning. I don't remember if I said hi to you.
Oh. Yeah, I just finished a big old plate of scrambled eggs myself. You know, I drink French vanilla creamer in my coffee. And every once in a while, I'll fry me up a big skillet of a 10-inch skillet full of about, 6 or 8 eggs and scramble them up. And I'll dump a little bit of that French vanilla in there. And I tell you what, we're getting the finger, the furry finger.
Yeah.
Well, at least my cat doesn't show her tail.
Yep. When I open the laptop, even if she's asleep.
RC Dude FPV, good morning, Michael. And Ronnie says the eggs cost more than the bacon.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's kind of funny how all that stuff's coming the way it is. Just kind of funny. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, my wife was just saying yesterday how expensive stuff has gotten since COVID.
Well, it's that's actually got nothing to do with COVID. They're blaming all that on supply chain issues and stuff.
Well, the supply chain issues was a result of COVID.
Well, that was the excuse. Yeah, that's true, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, when you quarantine a whole nation and you only, it does things to industries.
Yep.
And businesses, and even if it's an essential business, it still has an effect.
But you notice how certain businesses were exempt from all that shutdown stuff, though.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that are sponsored by China. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that so much, but I do know there were certain businesses that were deemed non-essential, like gun shops, but you could buy booze because that's essential.
Yep. Yeah. Or you couldn't go to your local neighborhood store, but you could go to the strip bar.
Yeah. So, well, that's enough politics. That's a road I try not to ever go down because I get rather heated about it.
Well, Rodney, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being passionate about your beliefs.
Well, I understand, but I for one don't believe it's something that should be aired on YouTube, especially in the setting I'm trying to maintain here.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So if this was a political show, oh hell yeah, let's go for it. But this is not a political show. This is not a drone show. It's just a show to have fun in. We can talk about drones. We can talk about anything but politics. Anyway.
So you see this? I've still got it.
Yeah.
You know what that is? Yep, you got one too. You know what it is.
Yeah, we got these at Spin Up in 2019.
At the very first Spin Up.
At the very first one.
That's right.
Or no, not. Did you get yours at the very first one?
Yeah.
The very first one was in 2018.
That's where I got mine.
Okay, I got mine in 2019 at the second one.
Oh, okay. I got mine.
Jerry is handing them out.
Yep.
And I use it every day too. See,
I do too. Mine's sitting right here. Well, you see where it's sitting. All right now, I got my phone laying over here, but yeah, normally it's sitting up there. But yep.
God bless America says.
Meanwhile, back to drones. I would like to remind everyone during the tour, please keep all hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times and do not feed the show host.
Mm.
Do not feed the animals.
So
yeah, I'm taking the drone and I'm taking my RC cars, my crawlers, and I want to digitize. Is that the right way to say it? I want to make digital my 5-inch quad. I've got that quad that right now has got no camera on it, because I've learned that analog just absolutely sucks, and I want to make it set up for digital, but I don't know how to go about doing that. So I was thinking about,
you have a good day, brother, and thank you.
Sending it to maybe Doc Murdoch or something and say, here, make it digital.
Well, it's not hard to do. I've done that to one of my drones.
But you need digital goggles too, though, right?
Yeah, you're going to need digital goggles, whether you use HD0 or DJI. You're still going to need to buy the digital goggles.
Well, how much? I know the DJI. Well, do they even make the first generations anymore? Can you get those? Are they cheaper now that the second generation is out?
The V2s. The first gen or second. The V2s are the second generation of the first ones that DJI made.
Okay.
And I think the last time I looked, I bought a second pair because they dropped them down from almost $600 to $439. I think is what I paid for the second pair.
That's the DJI ones?
Yeah, the V2s.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not the newer ones, not the ones that come with the Avata.
Oh, okay.
So DJI now has 3 different types. They have the original one, then they have the version 2 of the original one, and then they have the one that's like the next generation from there, which is actually better than the first 2 because those goggles are 1080p.
The first digital ones weren't 1080?
No, they were only 720.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be cool.
Nina, good morning.
Somebody wants to donate some equipment to make my little quad run again. That's the OVA. That's the 400 AGL channel. Oh, is that what he wanted? Yeah. Okay. I thought he wanted the MKRC channel. Thank you, OVA, for doing that. Calling the new goggles.
Yeah, one visionary will put the link to your channel in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I was just thanking him for.
Oh, okay. So I guess the new DJI goggles are being called Goggles 2.
Mm.
Why don't you just go with V3? Yeah.
Well, that kind of makes sense, but
they do everything else in 1, 2, or 3, or not a 1 necessarily, but a 2 and then a 3. The Mavic, they came out with the Mavic and then the Mavic Pro and then the Mavic Pro Platinum, and then they went to the Mavic 2 and then they went to the Mavic 3. So why not the Osmo Action 2, the little one, what's it called? The Pocket 2.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, why didn't they just keep going with that system? It works. Everybody knows what you're talking about at that point.
So Lance just subscribed to your channel, Mel.
I appreciate that, Lance. I do. So yeah, I'll be doing some video. I'll be doing some simulcasting, hopefully, if I can figure out how to do it. I don't think I'm going to take the big PC with me. I don't know yet. I know I'm going to take my laptop, and Of course, on my laptop, I don't run vMix, so I'd be using this platform to stream with. And I don't know, Rodney, can you stream to 2 locations with StreamYards as a free user?
No, not free.
No,
You gotta
I
pay
don't
for
think
it.
you can with free. Hey, I want to say good morning to Johnny Drone Flyer though, real quick.
Morning, Johnny.
So
yeah, because when I'm live streaming, see, I can't get a stream key yet for my TikTok channel, so I can't throw it in the mix. But you can do live streaming there too.
So somebody asked me a question about, is it more comfortable to fly FPV? Ronnie did. Is it more comfortable feeling when flying out of sight? For me, yeah, I'm real comfortable flying FPV with the goggles on. And I mean, I can't explain it really why I feel that way. I just do. It's just, I mean, at least if I'm familiar with the area, like when I fly at the church, I am so comfortable with flying at the church that, you know, it doesn't bother me if the drone is out of sight, which it rarely is anyway. But for me, it's more comfortable.
Are you talking with which drone, Rodney?
The FPV with the goggles on.
Okay, well then if you're wearing your goggles, your drone is out of sight the minute you put your goggles on.
Yeah, but not to the visual observer.
Well, that's true.
In any case, I am comfortable flying FPV with or without a visual observer. Actually,
so. I've not done it technically with or without a visual observer. The only time I did it was at the airfield out there in Fort Smith or Barling, and because I was at the AMA airfield, I didn't need a visual observer, you know.
Yeah.
Technically. So, but that was before the rule was enacted, so it didn't really matter. But I'm kind of wondering what's going to happen now with all this stuff going down in September. Are they going to push that date, do you think?
I don't know. I just
mean, I've got the only drone I've got that I fly is a Mavic 2 Zoom, and everybody knows what it is, and it's not a compliant aircraft.
Well, but you can buy a module that will make it compliant.
Oh yeah, there's these $25 and $50 modules that turned out to be $300. Everybody speculated that, you know, there'd be so many of them needed that they'd be really cost effective because you're going to have to get one for each aircraft and this and that and whatever and blah blah blah, and the only place I've heard about them, it costs about $300 to buy it.
Huh?
Well, shit, for $300 I can buy a compliant drone. You know,
much, yeah.
I mean, so yeah. And then does that mean that my Mavic 2 Zoom won't fly?
Well, now that I don't know.
Will I not be able to spin the rotors up? You know, I mean,
I guess that depends on if you do an update to it, because people have updated. I think I heard a couple of people say they updated the Avata.
Yep.
And now they have to have their phone connected to even fly.
Yep. Well, what if you don't have phone service?
So,
I mean, if you don't have phone service, does the drone know that it's in an area where there's no phone service to where it'll let you fly if you don't have phone service? Or
I doubt that.
Are you SOL or, you know?
Yeah, those are all good questions. I mean, I don't know the answer. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up with it, but
I just think it's amazing that you know, our federal government, the FAA, controlled by the lobbyists, has made these rules that we have to abide by. And I get that. But what amazes me is our government and us, we are allowing a Chinese company to control what non-essential citizens can do in our country. How did we get to this point? I mean, when you break it down to the very simple level, DJI is controlling what you can do as a private citizen. How is that fair? How is that? I've got such big issues with all these rules, that when they first started coming out, I was on the bandwagon. I was Johnny Rule Man. I was like, hey, follow the rules or quit doing it. I mean, the rules are there for a reason, blah, 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 blah. And the more this goes and the more I'm seeing and the more it's happening, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute now. How did we get to this point? Who can answer that? How did we get to this point?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know what you mean by the Chinese are making the making the decisions on where we can fly or not. If they produce a product and they put in that product that like DJI has geofencing, I mean, they're probably acting on the requirements of the FAA, because I know if I'm close to the base, my DJI drones will not spin up. And rightly so, because you're not supposed to be flying near military bases or airports.
That's true.
Now, airports, there is an exception with the airports, because even within the 5-mile range of an airport, there are certain altitudes which you can be allowed to fly at, and all you have to do is get Lance permission, which is easy to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so surprised how easy it was. I typed into my phone where I was going to be flying.
Yep.
What my maximum altitude was what I planned for my maximum altitude. And in this case, I was just within the outer ring. I was just like maybe 100 yards within the outer ring of the airport.
The TCA, yeah.
And I was still allowed to fly up to 400 feet.
Yeah.
I just had to get permission to do so. And it was no problem at all. And I did what I had to do, and it all was good.
I used Lance once to get authorization to fly in a sensitive area, and it came in about 20 minutes, and it was, it was no problem. It was good to go. I did it a couple of days ahead of time just in case I had to jump through some extra hoops or something, but the approval came back in like 20 minutes, and on the day I was scheduled to do my flight, I did my flight, and there was no problem. And oddly enough, I never got questioned about it either later. So I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say good morning to Michael's Drones and RCs. Also to Ruland, to Neeson, and who else? Arizona Street Media. Oh, and Chris, Sunrise Water Media.
Hey, Chris.
You don't need a cell phone service to fly the Avata. We did a test on Ready Set Drone. You only need GPS reception on your phone, which is different from cell phone reception. Oh, okay. That I didn't know.
And I've forgotten. Chris and I had a huge debate about that, a huge discussion about that after that flight. If you go back to that Ready Set Drone video and check out the conversation that Chris and I had, we carried on for a couple days back and forth talking about the different phone settings and GPS settings and all that stuff. Morning, Bob.
Morning, Bob.
But so I'm wondering, I mean, so everybody that flies the Avata so far that has done the update, they plug their phone into their Avata. What about a tablet? Because tablets have GPS capabilities, they have mapping capabilities, or does that only work if it's connected to a phone service? What if it's a standalone free tablet?
Well, even a standalone free tablet has GPS.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because like I can use my tablet to dial up like air maps or something like that. And air map uses GPS to find your location, right?
Yeah.
So would you have to be plugged into a phone even? Could you be
Well,
plugged into a tablet?
you'd have to have internet service, I'm sure. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I'm not going to say anything because I don't know.
Chris, that's
says,
good. Chris, did you guys test that?
Yeah, he says tablet works and no internet needed. So there you go.
There you go. Okay.
Chris is
no internet needed yet, but there is a company that's already boasting about network connection, and the FAA does plan to implement their network connection requirement of that ruling, which means that you will need internet and you will need to connect to this network that will be storing your data, even though they say it's not going to. It has to. Otherwise, it doesn't know who you are when you connect.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of got me turned off to flying in the future.
Well, I'm just going to put it this way. I'm going to keep flying until somebody comes along and tells me I can't.
That's a good idea.
If then they come and they tell me I can't, then I may or may not quit flying. That's just the way I feel right now. I am so sick and tired of our rights being interfered with. Here we go into politics.
Well,
I'm so tired of our rights getting interfered with and everything, and it's just crazy. So if I become an outlaw, I become an outlaw. That's just the way I feel right now.
Well, I've always said that, like all the gun laws, they're for the honest people. Padlocks are for honest people.
You're absolutely right. You can make all the gun laws you want. You can ban all the freaking guns you want. It's not going to make any difference. Bad people are going to do bad things, and they're going to get bad guns. And
or they're going to break padlocks to break into something, or that's just it. Bad people are going to do bad things no matter what the subject is or the topic. That's what's got me just, I don't know. The whole thing just, I've had a little bit of time, as y'all know, I've been taking some time, and I've been reflecting and doing some soul searching, and yeah, it's, I've raised my level of awareness on a few things that and a candle about this tall really burned my ass.
Yeah. Chris, Sunrise Water Media says, I'm going to come and tell you to keep flying, Rodney. Well, you come on, brother.
Come on, Chris.
I dare you. Come on.
Bring it. That's right.
Bring it on. Unlimited Vertical says, I'm with you, Rodney, but it is limiting how much I'm investing in the hobby. That is a true statement.
I agree with that too.
Because
3 months ago, I was going to buy the Mavic 3. Notice I said 3 months ago I was going to buy it. I still haven't bought it.
I agree with you, Ronnie.
Yep.
So, Michael, RC Drone Dude UK.
So what is your favorite drone that you fly right now? Ron, do you have the Avata? I mean, Rodney?
No, I don't have the Avata, but I have two drones that I fly, and unfortunately they're out in the truck. One is a Baby Hawk. This is a Baby Hawk, and it's currently down. I smoked the flight controller, so I've got a new flight controller coming, and I'm gonna put that in. And then I have a 5-inch that I bought off of Chris Miller that I fly, and those are my two favorite drones. And then you remember a few years ago, what's his name? Brent Nunley gave you and I both a drone.
Yeah.
Well, see
Is that it? Is that the one?
No, this is the new version of it. The one he gave me, I ended up breaking.
Oh, okay.
I broke an arm, so I couldn't find that exact frame again.
Right.
So I bought a different frame. So a lot the flight controller and the ESC and stuff, everything but the camera is the same. The only thing I did is I added a DJI. Well, it's not DJI, but it's the
digital.
Yeah, it's the digital. I forget who makes it. And plus, I use a RunCam Orange.
Yeah, I need to check into some of those. I'll be right back. I need more coffee.
Sad to say, but when the government infringes on our rights, it affects all. Yep, United scares the hell out of them. Yeah, it does. Yep. Okay, back to drones. Well, isn't that kind of what we've been talking about, Ronnie? Is, I mean, when I made the comment, I'm going to fly until they tell me I can't. Ben Cartwright, good morning.
Yeah, Ron,
RL Photography. I sent you an invite, brother. He must be working. Oh, wait a minute. No, he may be on his trip. Ron, are you on your trip? I think he was going to Canada. Oh, looky there.
That's the original.
That's the one he sent you? I thought you broke that.
Well, he sent me two.
Oh, he sent you two.
And one of them did get broken. The frame got the chassis. See, I've been in the RC car stuff too long now. It's the chassis. The frame broke right in the middle. Yeah. So, and that frame was white. This one's black. But the plates and stuff and the arms on this are carbon fiber, which is, you can probably see the reflection in the light there where it's.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. But notice it's got no eyeball in the nose there. It's got.
Oh, right. No camera.
The camera's missing. The receiver, I think, is good. I think I was having an issue with the VTX on this. So I took it off. I've got a VTX, but I don't think it's very good. So I'm just waiting for the opportunity to make it digital. I'd like to make this a digital aircraft and get a new pair of goggles, because the analog it's terrible. It just sucks.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say good morning to Mudball Creative. Don, good morning. And to Dan, I Fix Shet.
Hello, Ron.
Oh, and Ron Lockwood, who is working today, which is why he couldn't join the stream. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I actually ran about 15 minutes longer than I planned to. So I'll go ahead and end this one.
Well, thanks for letting me come in, Rodney.
Well, no worries. I stopped talking. Oh, stop talking crap about analog mail. I will come find you and put you in a sleeper hold. You will disappear down a dark hole somewhere, never to be heard from again.
Bring it.
Yep.
You see, I got this saying, Rodney.
Sorry, Don.
I won't fight you because I'm afraid of you. I won't fight you because I'm afraid of me.
Night Train says analog life.
Analog life. There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, depending on the VTX that you use, like the VTX that I had with that drone that Brent Nunley sent me worked great, especially after I figured out how to increase the wattage. The output wattage.
And that may be my issue with this one. You know, it may be I just need a good VTX and a decent camera, and
you will find that it's a lot better. You'll
crank the
further
power
out, the further away you get from the receiver, the worse it will get. But the closer you are, I mean, like when I was flying analog at the church, I could see everywhere on the church at I think I was on that one, it was 800 milliamps or milliwatts, not amps, watts. Night Train, good morning. I guess we'll continue on for a few more minutes, I guess.
Well, someone needs to coach me or let me send this thing to them and have them fix it up for me.
Well, I think I'll say good night. I've got a cat
all right,
that's
Dom.
trying to destroy everything. So
cats are bad about that.
Yeah. So good night.
So, all right. Well, let me post a link in here. Let's see if we can get someone else to come in. Dan,
see you later,
Don. It's in the chats. Scott, Chris, Sunrise Water Media. Why don't you guys pop in here?
Whoops. There, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I had to go check a bush. Apparently, I had to go check the bush to the left and see a thumb sticking out of it.
A bush to the left and see a thumb sticking out of it?
Look out your window, Mel. Check the bush to your left and see the thumb sticking out of it.
Oh. Is someone saying that? Oh, yeah.
And
Dan, yeah.
OVA.
Oh, I said I was going to put the link in the chat and I forgot to do that. Sorry, guys. It happens when you start getting old.
Yeah, I know there was nobody out there. When you start getting old, Rodney, you haven't started getting old yet.
That's not the way it feels.
Tell me about it. I know it, right? Oh.
Male with the hand cannon.
OVA, you're funny, dude. But I did have somebody, interestingly enough, knock on my door one night about 11 o'clock, wake me up out of a sound sleep. I answered the door in my underwear with my Glock in my hand, and I said, "This is how I answer my door in the middle of the night. Who the hell are you, and why are you here?"
And what'd he say?
It was a she, and yeah. Anyway, it was, yeah. She didn't have a lot to say at that moment. Oh man, the guy was supposed to deliver you flowers, didn't come. No, the guy, nobody brought flowers. Nobody brought flowers. So yeah, Rodney, I'm fixing to go do a road trip. Pacific orders hide in the bush, stick his thumb out. That was the all clear not to shoot signal. Somebody tell him I live in Tennessee. Must just automatically assume that we have guns here, huh? Yeah. I can't afford to buy Girl Scout cookies no more. You know, they used to be $2 a box. Now they're 20.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, I paid like, I think it was $8 a box or something last time I bought Girl Scout cookies.
I haven't bought Girl Scout cookies in a while. Bob says you
Road
should
trip
go
to the South Florida meetup.
meetup.
I might. When is that?
April 1st. I believe it's April 1st.
Oh, yeah. I won't be able to do that then. I'll be in Oklahoma or Utah or something.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go this year either.
$5 a box now? Yeah. I like those caramel ones with the stripes on top. Which ones were those? I don't remember what they're called. I just know what they look like.
Weren't those the Samoas?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Well, you know what? I got technology here.
Do you now? You don't say.
I know. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, they had coconut in them, I think. Yeah, right?
Yeah, they're the ones with the stripes.
Yeah. So who wants to fix me up here? Who wants to get my little quad in good condition? And I want to go digital. I think I do. I think I do want to go digital. I mean, all you guys are seeming to enjoy your digital flying. And I don't have to go DJI digital. I can go somebody else as long as it's good quality. Right, Rod?
Let me see a side view of that. Oh, yeah. I think you got room to put in well, you got room to put in one of those Nebula Pros, I think.
Well, I can stick my fingers through there. I mean, that's quite a bit of room in there.
Cadix is what I was trying to think. Cadix Vista kit. You can get them for $165. That's pretty much what I'm using right now. Those work on the DJI goggles.
Morning, Copper State.
Copper State, Mike, good morning.
So, and then what's these other cameras you're running? You know, I used to tease and joke about, so I need an air unit and a camera. Yes, OVA, I need an air unit and a camera and digital goggles, because all I've got's my skinny fish. Let's see, they're Fat Shark. I forgot what model they were, but yeah, I've got the Fat Sharks. So I need the camera, the air unit, and a set of goggles to make it digital. And I mean, I can pay for this stuff. I just don't know how to set it up and make it all work. You know, I don't know how to do all that. Why will I need a new frame? Night Train? You don't think there's room enough in there to stack that? And why couldn't you just put longer standoffs on it and raise this top plate up a 1/4 inch if you had to? You know what I mean? The king of all FPV.
What's up, man?
Hey,
Over here
Dan.
trash talking analog life, sir.
I only speak the truth when it comes to comparing analog to digital.
Ah, thine beautiful digital. Great for everyone, except for analog people. I honestly don't
Whiskey
mind.
for my men and beer from my horses, by
There
God.
you go.
Mike
Yeah.
says for fitting the air unit and may not be the right mounting either. He's got a good point there.
But see, that's the thing is I could go spend this money that you're telling me about and then not be able to use it. So I'd feel
Well-
better just sending the quad to somebody and have them set it up. And if it's right, it's right. If it needs something, it needs something. And somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. Because
Well-
I honestly don't know. Now, if you want to talk about RC crawler trucks or RC cars or something, I'm your guy. RC airplanes, I can probably help you out. FPV quads, that is out of my wheelhouse.
So One Vision Aerial is asking what frame it is, but you probably don't know that, do you?
I do not.
Because
I have no idea.
I mean,
all I know is it's carbon fiber.
if Brent gave you that was like 4 years ago or so.
Was this the one that took off and then like almost took out people at the park? Was that one?
That was this one's cousin. Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I lost it in the sun and hit the kill switch and let it land where it landed. Yeah. Well, I was away from people. Just, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I wasn't close to people. I can't say the same for other material objects, but I wasn't close to people.
Those are pretty thin arms. They look like race arms. They're very thin. Yeah, they're not wide body arms at all. So that's some kind of racer frame.
Yeah. So this one is a source.
So start with a whole new everything then.
Well, no, that should work. It's not gonna like if you look at Rodney's right now that he's holding.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you see how much wider his arms are.
Yeah.
So tip it upside down, Rodney.
Well, that's show the bottom.
Down?
The bottom.
Yeah.
The bottom.
So the bottom. That's a freestyle quad. You see how much thicker the arms are and how much wider. So
well, yeah, but that's because you're planning. That has to be big because you're anticipating crashing into stuff.
Yes. Whereas yours is designed to just absolutely rip. It's a frame, a battery, and motors. That's all they're trying to get out of it.
And that's all that is, yeah. But
right.
that's
like
all that is.
X-class. Yeah. Yours is Mel, yours falls more under an X-class racer frame, and his is a freestyle quad.
So more just that one's just better as a shelf queen then.
Well, no, I think it's worth putting up in the air. It's just not going to take any real heavy blunt force crashes. Mel's would sustain crashing a lot easier than that one would.
If you took
I'm sorry. Rodney's. It's weird having both of you guys on here because I keep getting the beards confused.
Well, how? Mine is so much.
I don't know.
Different.
It just happens, sir.
Yeah, his is a lot grayer than mine.
Yeah, different.
And then besides, I'm better looking of the two.
And you would think that because mine is more gray that I'm the older of the two, when that is really not the case. I am the young stud.
Here's my suggestion for you, Mel. I would strip that quad, pull everything off of it. Should be easy. Most of it's just going to be taking screws and bolts out.
That would be easy to take apart.
Change that frame, right? Because in the process of changing the frame, you can order a different frame. In the process of changing that frame, it's going to be that much easier just to put a different camera on it yourself.
Okay, so why even bother with that? I mean, these parts can't be that expensive.
What's that? Well, I don't know what the parts are. I mean, you'd have to read off some of the parts.
All I've got here is a what's the thing controls the motors?
The ESCs.
The ESCs. Okay. The control board, the flight controller. There's no VTX on it right now because there's no camera on it.
Right.
So, I mean, a flight controller and ESCs and motors is not the big expense when it comes to these quads. It's the camera gear is the expensive part and the goggles. So why scavenge parts off of this? Why not just get parts? I mean,
Well, because you're talking to a real FPV guy, and as a real FPV guy, we scavenge every part we possibly can because we crash so often that we have to replace everything. So we believe in rebuilding from what we already have if possible. There's just this thing about scratch building, and most of us end up doing it unless we decide to finally commit to a fully new build. Then most of us just Frankenstein and parts at that point. That seems like very usable parts, Mel. I mean,
I could put a battery in this and fly it right now.
Right now, right? Just no visual.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
absolutely,
yeah. As Night Train's saying, most of us try to go the cost-effective route. So if we don't have to buy motors, we don't have to buy a flight controller. That's just more things we don't have to purchase if we already have them. So it's just like if I would say that frame is not durable, it's not going to take too many hits. But if you wanted to frame swap it, you're already there. It's literally going to take you probably about 20 minutes to pull the parts off, switch them to another frame.
That'd be about right. Yeah.
And then from there you have a larger frame to work with where you can fit any size. So like let's say you went with a Source 1 version 4 HD frame, right? The arms are cheap. It'll take a good crash. It's an open source frame, so it's constantly going to be modified by the general public and made better over time. You can get new parts for it easily and cheap. Like these are reasons why you would switch out of that X class frame. So I guess overall what I'm saying is I would suggest purchasing an open source version 4 frame. Okay, Source 1. Write that down, Mel, if you don't have a thing to, because trust me, you can buy this frame on eBay and the parts are really cheap for it. You can build it yourself. It's so simple. They have directions on there. So Source 1 version 4 frame.
Yeah, I built this one. This is one I built from scratch. And it's the same frame that Dan's talking about.
Yeah, is that the version 3 or 4?
4.
4, yeah. So they're so easy to put together. There's nothing, and there's tons of room in the stack to add whatever system you want to. I will make you a bet most of the electronics you have there will work on that frame just by swapping it right over. That gives you a lot more room to play with camera setups and everything else you want to. I would even venture to say that board probably has at least an F4 to an F7 flight controller in it. So I would say it's still probably pretty up to date with what we're rocking right now.
Well, that board is at least 4 years old, that flight controller.
Which is fine. We were still rocking F3s and F4s at that point. So it's not horribly out of date that it wouldn't fly very good if we tuned it on Betaflight.
Oh, this thing flew great.
Yeah.
It flew great. It just, I don't like to stay within 50 feet of me, and I was out at a AMA airfield where I had acres to fly and high, I could do whatever I wanted, go 200, 300, 400 feet and 1,000 feet away, and then I can't see no more.
Right.
No, that I wasn't good with that.
Well, like Night Train was saying, if buying a frame, look into a frame that fits HD, which is what the HD version was for. That's why I said if you buy the Source 1 version 4 HD, it was designed for the HD setup.
Okay, I'm trying to see if there's some kind of writing or name on this BTX. It's not BTX. It's a Mamba board.
Oh, nice.
Wow,
somebody spent some money.
The flight controller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a Mamba, whatever that means.
Pretty decent.
Good flight controller.
Yeah, it's fairly decent flight controller.
But I don't see like a...
Does it say the model number of the Mamba?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't see like a model number or,
might be on the bottom.
So it's just a Chevrolet, so I can't tell if it's an S10 or a Silverado. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you show it to the camera or is the top plate still on it? Because you might be able to show it.
Top plate's still on it, but I doubt you'll be able to really see much because I don't have enough light there. But
I would venture,
but it's probably too far away.
I would venture to say it's probably a Mamba F4 flight controller, which is, like I said, still is not horrible today. If it was an F3 or back, I'd say let's get that thing updated to something new. But an F4 through an F7 should fit your needs for flying.
And I can't tell.
Night
know
Train's
that-
following up everything I'm saying.
I know there's a USB plug port on. It'll be on the way the board's situated in the drone, which means forward is this way. Because I know that makes a difference. There's a USB port on the right and a switch on the left, a push button switch or something.
So even and this is what's cool about Betaflight now. Even if you did install the board backwards in Betaflight, you can actually set which way. Yes, the gyro.
That's
and
true
all
too. And you know what? Now that we have set this up, that may have been done. I have no idea, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I mean, you can tell once you plug it into Betaflight just by tipping the quad, it's showing whether it's forward, backwards, front, left, or right, and then you can change that in the settings if necessary.
Unless you've changed it to be forward, back, and left and right already.
Right. If you've already done that, yeah. So
yeah.
Most like.
And I had this flying. This quad flew. I mean, it flew several flights.
Sure.
This quad is where I learned to not re-engage the motors during an inverted yaw until you're not inverted anymore at half throttle. Because at 100 feet off the ground, when you're doing a nice free fall inverted yaw, and then you engage the motors and you're at half throttle, it just instantly buries itself in the dirt.
Right.
Because it's that quick.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
I've learned that the hard way.
I was gonna say Rodney was having some problems with those inverts.
But I did do an inverted yaw.
Did
but
you?
Hey, at least not only did I know what it was, but I knew how to do it. So yeah. And it's funny because I can do all the build. I've got so many custom builds on RC trucks going right now. It's not even funny. Scratch builds where I'm taking aluminum channel and making a frame and putting axles and motors and transmission and stuff in it and all that kind of stuff. Soldering, you know. But with this thing, I just don't have the patience to mess with this. I don't know. I just don't have the patience to mess with it.
Yeah.
Stick it on Betaflight and you can see what the flight controller is. That is very true.
It's not. In fact, yeah, you can do it right now.
Do I need a battery in it?
I don't think so. Not to just communicate with the board. Normally you don't. Yeah. If you were motor testing or something like that, and it was an overpowered quad, then yes, you'd need a motor in it. Or a battery. Oh, you need a motor, Dan. What the fuck?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I really enjoyed building that one quad, and I definitely like putting new stuff on them.
Oh,
so open Betaflight first, or plug this into the PC first, or what?
No, open Betaflight first.
I have two icons for Betaflight, so I don't know quite why.
When was the last time you updated Betaflight?
Betaflight configurator is no longer supported. Okay, I don't know what that means. Let me try this other Betaflight icon.
Whoops, that means the old version. Well, Dustin's saying open it first, which is what I normally do.
Betaflight opened.
Okay.
Notice you were using an outdated version of Betaflight configurator.
Don't you love Betaflight?
Should I update this?
Well, I wouldn't yet. It's fine. The version that we're currently on will work. I'm guessing that's an F4, so I wouldn't do anything right now. I would just plug it in and see where we end up.
Okay. So, plugging the USB cable into the computer, and now I'm plugging the cable into the quad.
Do you have your Betaflight set for auto connect?
I think so.
Okay.
I got a connect button, I see.
Yeah, well, okay. So a lot of times it'll do the search for you if you have the.
I got funny lights come on.
Awesome.
And so now I'm gonna do. Isn't there a way to do a share screen thing here, Rodney?
There is.
Share screen.
It's called Present.
I don't know what these tips are, but I ain't gonna read those tips. I want this. Actually, I don't have to cover this up.
Let me go to the bathroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Is that cool?
Window. I want this one and this one. Okay. Now, that should be there. See, so now, oh, you know what?
I've got it up on the screen now.
I see that. But I'm going to move this to my other monitor, and so that I can see the whoops. I want it full screen. So that I can see this. And so what I would do here now is just hit connect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's plugged in and I got lights blinking on the quad. So
right. So hit connect. You may have to do it a couple of times.
Doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Oh, wait a minute. What's that notice say?
Well, that's the one that says I'm using an old version and it wants me to go to the release website. Oh, maybe I got to close that. There we go.
Yep. Okay. Now,
yeah, see, there it is. Yeah, it's got the arrow in the front. It's so. I mean, that's where the arrow is.
Okay.
So this is all set up. I mean, I was flying this quad with analog goggles with my Fat Sharks. Dominator V2.
Okay.
Is what my Fat Sharks are.
Yeah. So I'm trying to. Hot Rod Daytona, just go Space Force. Okay. RC Dude says go to CLI tab and type in right dump or dump all.
Go. Why would I dump anything?
Because you're just bringing up what's on. It's going to tell you what the board is once you do that.
Okay.
Nothing's going to happen to the drone.
What tab?
CLI down at the bottom there. Your mouse arrow is almost on it.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Yeah. And then click. Type in dump.
Here.
Down at the bottom.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Dump like DUMP.
DUMP, and then hit enter. There you go. Now scroll back to the top. Now it should tell you. What's that say right there?
FY40.
Okay. So let's leave that up for a minute.
Oh, board name is a Fury F4 OSD.
I think OSD stands for
on-screen display.
Okay, RC dude says to also save a copy of that.
From where? From
so that's down at the bottom. It says save to file.
Okay.
Save that. It's going to save that configuration there. So create a folder for it so you don't forget what it is.
I'm dyslexic, you know. Apparently.
Okay. And then hit save.
All right. What are we doing?
We're saving the code from his drone.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So it's there's the board name.
What do we got?
The Fury F4.
I'm going to try and make that full screen, guys.
Yeah.
So the three of us won't be on there.
Yeah, that's good. I can see it now. Yeah, Fury F4.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that was a sick board.
So, if I go back to how do I just go to home where I was? Gyro?
Go to setup.
Oh.
Hang on.
There we go. I had to reconnect it. So it's already set up, Dan. I mean, it's showing the arrow at the front, and
the gyro seems to be working good.
So he just wants to I think he just wants to add a
camera.
A camera.
That's all this thing needs is video.
Well, I've never built an analog or a digital rig, so I wouldn't even know where to start with that. I'm an analog guy, so that would be, you'd have to reach out to somebody who's done the analog or the digital installation stuff. Mike might be able to do it, but I think he's analog too. Most of us just, as freestyle pilots, we prefer analog because it's cheaper to fix. It's just so much cheaper, and you can do a field fix like that.
See, I was going to tease about that with the guys that complain about their $500 GoPro just got destroyed on their 100-mile-an-hour quad, and I'm thinking,
except with digital, you still have to have the GoPro. So now you're not just destroying one very expensive camera, you're destroying two in the process.
But see, and that's my point is, okay, so why would you strap a $500 extra camera to the top, knowing that not if, but when this thing crashes, because that's what everybody tells me.
Yep.
You're probably going to destroy that $500 camera.
Because GoPro offers you something that the digital system just cannot. Granted, the digital recording looks okay. I mean, it's okay. It's nowhere near on power of GoPro's hyper smooth, and like it's just such a very different
or
cinematic
Osmo action or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's just such a different cinematic feel. The color blandness that comes from the digital system that it records is garbage. It's like 1080p at like poop. Like it's not even fun to work with the footage. So it's like, it's great if you want the visuals, but if you want recording, man, you're gonna have to strap a good camera to it to get the happy place.
Okay. I don't understand that statement right there.
What's that? Analog came, vid in what? Okay, analog.
Oh, vid in, vid out. Okay.
Came in, vid out. Digital is RX out to TX and TX to RX only. Diff with wires. Awesome. Mikey, I love you, man.
But I mean, I could wire up the Vista Pro for you, because I've done that. I've done that several times actually, and it's not hard to do. And in what Mike is saying, that with the analog, it's usually video out, video in, right? He's just comparing the difference between the two. With the HD, because it's digital, it's going to be transmit and receive.
Right. So, and Duranaply?
Yeah,
I love Duranaply.
Yeah, I could be in Nashville tomorrow. I'm not very far from there, actually. I don't live too far from Nashville, but I'm starting a road trip in the morning in the complete opposite direction. So there are people that fly in Nashville area, but none of them really run in the circles that we're in here with this group of people.
Mel, this was my way of getting around not caring about building a digital system. Like I just was like, I don't care.
That's the old POS, right?
Yeah, that's the old piece of shit.
What everybody
FPV
calls
drone.
the POS. Yeah.
Do you still fly that, Dan?
What's that?
Do you still fly it?
Yeah, we send it. Fuck, we've broken it like 4 times now. I've already replaced all the arms. I still got a snapped arm back here that's holding on for dear life. I don't give a shit. We send it.
Didn't you replace an arm? Didn't you fix an arm before though, when you bought it?
Oh yeah. Shit. That's why I said we've already unsoldered it, soldered it, added new sensors. We bashed out the camera on the front of it. Like I'm freestyling this rig at this point. I don't care. I'm sending it. I'm saying like it is a brick. It is hilarious to fly. It sucks ass. Like it is just horrible to fly. But we don't care. We just keep sending it. So
One Visionario says, "Behold the potato." So are we finished there?
And it's half baked even.
Hey, Mel, I guess we're done with beta flight now.
I guess, Dan, are we done with beta
Yeah.
flight? I mean, you're the
I
one.
mean,
that
there's not
wanted
much
to-
else you can do. You now know your board and stuff.
Well, yeah, and I know it's set up. I mean, like I said, I was flying. Doc Murdoch actually got tuned this thing up and made it work, and I flew it until I broke the camera stuff on it.
So, Rodney, the only reason I bought this is because I was debating about building a digital system, and then I was like, you know what? I bet you if I just looked around for a deal, I could just find one of these old pieces of crap that fly, right? So, sure enough, we got it for like $400. It was super cheap. I just needed that arm replaced. Came with the 2 batteries and the new goggles and everything. I was like, oh, I couldn't build a quad for that,
No.
you know. So for me, it was just like it was a no-brainer. But now we've kind of stopped sending it at this point. This is just going to be a long-range rig. I'm waiting. What's really happening here is I'm waiting for Mike from Accelerated Heights to put the no limit drone software on it, so I don't have to be restricted with it. I want to be able to take it, fly it where I want to. I'm tired of the restrictions on it. So it's been parked for a little while until we can get the no limit drone software on it.
Yeah.
I want to take it to the mountains and do illegal shit.
I almost passed out when you said you bought one.
Yeah, I'm sure most people did. I just bought it to see what the thing would do. But no, I had been talking to Clinton about getting either building a digital long range or just buying one of these so I could.
Yeah.
And the reality is with a GoPro on it, it actually takes pretty good cinematic footage if you fly smooth for long range. But if you're doing any kind of freestyle with this thing, it's garbage. Garbage.
Yeah.
The footage
Well,
just
Clinton
sucks.
had one, didn't he?
Yeah, Clinton's had one for a while. So
Yeah.
So now me, Brian, and Clinton all own one. So we're just like, yeah.
I just remember that guy at the meetup down there.
Boom.
Took it swimming. Yeah, brand new.
Right after he said, "I am the," what did he say? I am the Maverick.
Hold my beer, watch this.
Yes, that was a hold my beer, watch this. Like literally 15 seconds before he planted into the water. That's what he said. He looked right at my camera. He's like, "Yeah, I'm the Maverick."
Yep.
It's like, what?
Except Maverick never flew like that.
Oh man, how cocky.
Okay, so if we could put gyro software, wonder what the video would be like. It would be smooth. So let me ask then, what would it cost? Rodney, you said you could put something on it. What were you talking about?
If you well, I can put I can put the Cadix Nebula Pro kit on
Now,
it.
what is that?
That's the digital system here. Hang on a second.
It's a good little setup.
Yeah, that's what I've got on all of mine. Hang on a minute. I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay.
So that's what it looks like.
Okay. What's the dimensions on that box?
For your needs, Mel.
The box is 20 by 20.
And how thick is it?
Now that I don't know. Hang on. It should tell me though.
I've clearly got 20 by 20, but what's the height? Because I've probably got damn near 20 in height too.
Oh man, I don't want you to. Oh gosh, Mel, I don't want you to send that puppy.
It's 30 by 29 by 13 millimeters.
Okay, I've got 13 tall, easy.
That's the kit. That's the box.
You think you've got that on top of the flight controller?
Oh, absolutely, Dan. Shit, I can stick my picking finger in there.
Well, you'd be surprised. I thought that too till I remembered you have to have stack mounts and other things in there.
That's true.
Okay, okay. Give 1 minute.
All right, I'm going to share that now. Copper State aerial, yes, it does. That's what I have. I have the DJI goggles too. Or no, I have the V2.
That's what came with the. You didn't get the FPV drone though. You just bought the goggles, right?
I just bought the goggles. I
Right.
don't even have the controller. I use
Controller.
the FreeSky controller.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I would do that too.
Oh, come on. Don't tell me my battery is dead.
Oh, did we really pull out a micrometer?
Oh, yeah, digital. But my battery's dead.
Oh, fancy.
I can do it, the old-fashioned way. From the top of the nut that's holding the flight controller
Mm-hmm.
to the bottom of the top, who's it?
Who's it?
Is damn near 20 millimeters.
Okay.
It's like 15. Let me see. From the top of that nut, and those nuts are really tall.
Mm-hmm. They should be.
Yeah, I guess they have to be that tall to make the next board clear the top of the stuff on this one.
So
so that makes sense.
Normally, you're losing a couple millimeters to the stack. You got to have the rubber mounts in there, the soft pad dampeners, right? The stack dampeners, and that's
okay. I'm looking at 16. Yeah, 16 millimeters.
Yeah, so if you're at 13, you'll probably be pushing 15 by the time you add the stacks. You're going to be really tight. It's going to be tight.
Okay, so why can't you raise this piece 2 or 3 millimeters with longer standoffs, or, why does it have to be right there?
Well, I mean, nobody's saying you can't modify, but I would say that it probably would take a lot of the stability out of the frame, right? I mean,
That's what I would say.
How so?
Well, because you see the back, unless you're adding in, you see the poles there?
Yeah.
In between the top plate and the bottom plate?
Right.
You would have to find longer ones of those, because that's how the stability happens. I mean, just putting longer bolts in there isn't going to, you know what I mean? So you'd have to get.
I make stuff like that from
scratch.
There.
See, this is why, if you're going to, I feel you.
So you know what tie rods are, right, Dan?
Yeah, of course.
I make rod links and tie rods for RC trucks, custom length, to hold rear ends under frames where they need to be without twisting and all that. I mean, that's no different than making something like this.
Sure. I mean, if you think you can do it, most of us don't have the tools or capability at our place of residence to do those types of things.
You'd be absolutely surprised. Picture this. 1 second, Rod. So this is just a shaft, right? A part that's threaded on each end that you can thread a screw into. True?
Sure.
Basically. So why not a piece of 440 threaded rod?
Hey, Bob Casey, you have a good day, brother. Thanks for popping in. Doc Murdoch is in the house.
Hello, Doc Murdoch. Yeah, Doc's the one that got this thing flying in the first place. So piece of threaded rod, nut on the bottom, copper tubing cut to length with a nut on the top.
Right. Well, but Mel, what I'm saying is right now it's actually perfect. You are at the perfect spot that you want to be at. If you're only going to be pushing about 15, because what was it? We decided it was 13 for the, right?
Yeah. 13.
Yeah. So if you're adding in 1 millimeter gummies or maybe 1.5 millimeter gummies, you should be fine. You'll be actually right at the perfect point where you'll just tighten the nut down and it'll just sink on there beautifully.
Everything will just come together.
Right. So I'm not sure it's necessary to modify the quad.
You're still saying don't use this frame.
But, and the reason I'm saying that, Mel, is because I know you're going to crash a lot. And we don't even know what frame that is. It seems like a lot of work to put that bird in the air just for you to crash it and then take all the stuff out anyways and put it in another frame.
The funny thing is, and I told Doc this later, Doc was having me, when he started teaching me to fly this, line of sight right in front of me, learn throttle control, make it hover at 6 feet or 5 feet. And just make it hover in one spot. Learn throttle control, right? Okay. And I did that, and I got to where I could kind of handle it.
Right.
Muscle memory, keep it in one spot for the most part. And then one day I just decided, I'm just going to fly the damn thing. And I put the goggles on, and I flew it all over the airfield like I knew what I was doing.
Right.
And I thought, okay. Now, of course, I didn't fly through things that first flight or nothing. I was probably 150 feet in the air flying around doing rolls and loops and inverted
So you
stuff,
were doing acro.
Oh, sure.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. But I've got a camera, an FPV camera, mounted on the tail of one of my airplanes up on the top of the rudder.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a VTX and antenna and everything all in one little package.
Right.
And all it needs is power. So I ran a servo lead down to the receiver and plugged it in with the positive and negative lead going to the camera.
Right.
And I fly that FPV. At least not on purpose. No. What did I
He's
not
talking
do on
about you're
purpose?
crashing all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, when I left Fort Smith and came back home, I actually a couple of weeks before that, I gave this to a friend of mine that flies a lot of FPV. And I called him up and I said, "You still got that? Have you done anything with it?" He said, "No, it's still sitting in the box you gave it to me in." I said, "Would you mind if I like Indian give that
Indian
back to
gave
me?"
it back to me.
Yeah. And he's like, "No, man, you think you'll fly it?" I said, "Yeah, I wanna eventually, yeah. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in a couple of months, I want to, do something with it." And I feel like I'm at that point. So, yeah, I want to start flying the FPV stuff again. Start getting back into it. I do it with my RC trucks. I do it with my RC planes. Why not do it with quads?
Good for you.
Yeah,
I can't even convince myself to go out and fly anymore. So you're doing better than me.
Well, I'm having trouble with it, but I did find a really good-looking 26-year-old that I'm going to teach to fly and go through the whole, get her trust certificate, start to finish, and I'm going to video all this stuff, and yeah.
Now the truth comes out.
The truth comes out.
But that's here at home. That's not on the road trip, Rodney. That's got nothing to do with the road trip. OVA. Ask Dan. Dan has known me quite a while. Dan's known me longer than Rodney or anybody. So he probably knows that there's always been a dark side of me that seldom comes out. But yeah.
Well, actually, I kind of suspected it back when I first saw you on a live stream.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, I could just tell by looking at you. You just got that aura around you,
Yeah, very dark. Yep. And then Doc showed up in person and spent the day with me out at the airfield, and yeah. So, okay, so
Dan, are you in thought or are you frozen?
Dan's always in thought.
Staring off of I've got an interesting situation I'm dealing with right now. I sold a motorcycle, my personal motorcycle, to somebody like a year ago, and they never took it out of my name. And then they went and sold it to somebody else who had an accident on the bike. And so now they're want me to pay restitution on the accident because it's still in my name. So,
oh no,
I've been dealing with a lot of lawyers and legal stuff here lately. It's been a boatload of fun, let me tell you. They want $7,000. I'm telling them they can kiss my ass. Dude, it's not my fault Buddy didn't take it out of my name. I don't know what to tell you. It had a legit title. It was signed by both parties. It's gone. I didn't have the accident. I wasn't driving, and it hasn't been in my possession for over a year. How do you want me?
The DMV should have a copy of the. Well,
except he didn't turn it in.
If he didn't turn it in, then
right. So, and Dan wasn't thinking about making a bill of sale. So that was like, so now I had to, they want me to prove that I sold it, which I feel like I've done 5 times over. And no matter what I give them, it's not good enough. So yeah, I'm just pondering and thought of fun right now. This is just exciting stuff.
Well, I feel for you, brother.
Shit happens, man. It's part of life, bro.
So you still say it would be, I get that it would be cheaper to use these parts and buy another frame and buy the digital stuff. But I mean, how much are motors?
Oh,
in fact, I think I've got 4 motors just like these, or very similar to these, in my spare parts from the crashed one.
Depends on what you choose. We need to find out if those are 4S or 6S rated, because
These are 4S.
4S. Okay. So yeah, I mean, most people by now have moved on to 6S. So yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about jumping right into it, Mike will probably say it's a hell of an idea. Just go right to 6S because that's how he started. So well, no, I think Mike started on 5-inch 4S, but still, he didn't like. It was a great learning curve because then you understood the power. You didn't grow on the power. You just understood the power right out the hole. And if you got accustomed to that really quickly, then your flying style became good fast. It had no choice. So I would say if you're going to do this, then you're going to commit to a new build. I would still go with the Source 1 frame because they're really cheap and they're easy to get parts for, and they're super simple to build, and it's just a good starter point for anybody.
And they're very strong, believe me.
Yeah, they'll take a few good hits. The arms are not nearly as durable as I'd like them to be, but they still take some good forward hits hard. So for the price of the frame at $24, I think it's pretty hard to argue.
Ah.
Yes. Yeah.
And Doc says $40 for four of the cheap motors.
Yeah, I mean, if you go cheap, sure. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about building basically your your first quad. But think about it this way: it's going to get probably in a lot of crashes, and that's just part of the flying. So you know that.
So
you know what
so
you're
tell me this: can you build one for $500?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can build one for like $130.
Digital.
I don't know about digital. Analog for sure. Digital, probably not. It's the camera is going to be upwards.
Okay, so 130 plus
70.
rod. How much is you said 165 for that Cadex thing?
Yeah. I mean, it only cost me about $300 to build this guy.
Okay, so I was going to say, so we're looking at $300.
Roughly.
Okay.
Roughly.
Yeah. And then how much are those goggles?
A lot.
Well, like I said, it depends on which HD system you're going to use. If you use the one like I'm suggesting, the Nebula Vista Pro, then you'd want to use the DJI goggles. Then the next question would be the V2. Let me hang on a minute. Let me find out how much they cost. Oh, hell.
Night Train is disagreeing with some information here. He's saying no digital for $150 for the air unit. Night Train saying average digital builds around $600. Night Train said it's $1,000 to build a quad and get goggles. I don't remember it being that expensive, Mike.
Mike, that's not what I pay. If I paid, I'm pretty sure close to $300 for that one.
Hold on a sec.
That's what he's saying. 300 for a quad.
What was that?
But
Nebula?
I already had the goggles and the Vista Pro too, so maybe, yeah. But he may be right.
About putting on it the Nebula what? Cadex
Nebula Pro Vista kit.
Pro. Do this. All you need after that is motors, ESC, Cadex Nebula Pro Vista shopping. Let's see.
Well, maybe.
I found it for one. Oh, that's the Polar Micro Starlight Vista. That's $139.
If you wanted to go with the DJI FPV goggles V2, it's $429 on Amazon.
Oh shit! AliExpress has the camera for $70.
And if you go with the DJI goggles 2, which is the more expensive one, it's $649.
eBay also has it listed for $67. $68. Yeah, so you can get them on eBay for pretty cheap. So I don't know. Mike, I don't know, man. This is the Cadex Nebula Pro HD digital FPV camera Vista kit. I'm gonna share this link with you, man. It looks like if you just do a little searching, you can find the cameras for pretty cheap. Oh wait, I can't. I'll have to put it in private, and then you'll have to share it over there, Rod.
Okay.
It's kind of a long link. Sorry.
Hey, Mel. He put the link to what he's talking about in the private chat.
So, and then
What?
think about it this way. All you're doing is spending what, 30, 40 bucks on motors, and then you're spending for a ESC, right? I mean, basically. Or flight controller. Is this just the? I didn't even look, man. I don't know about the digital crap.
Oh wow, that is cheap.
I'm an analog guy.
Okay, so this is actually located in China, and it would take how long to get here? But
yeah, well, I mean, if you want it for, like I said, if you're trying to go for a cheap build, sometimes it's, third-party vendors are gonna nail you. Getting it straight from China, man, it's gonna be a lot cheaper.
I get it, but I'd rather kind of get the stuff that's already been shipped over here. That way, I don't have to wait all that time.
Okay, all right. Well,
You
then,
know?
yeah. So now
I mean,
we go.
so I'm talking like, I'm okay with it spending instead of costing me $300. I'm okay with it costing me $1,000, goggles and all.
Okay.
Of course, I don't want it to cost me $5,000 if I can do it for $800. You know what I mean? But the CL2 frame $40, motors $40, ESC $40 for 4 receivers, $30, and add the price of the digital system. So that's 120 plus 180 and another 30. So he's talking $250.
So Doc is suggesting this frame here, and it costs $40.
Yeah, it's a
Is
beater.
that the one you're talking about?
Is that the one you're talking about, Dan, too? Is that what you mentioned?
No, I mentioned the Source One HD
Source
version
One,
4.
yeah.
I just love the way the Source One frames handle. They are so graceful through the air compared to all the other fat body frames I've seen. There's just
I like them. Both my blue drone and my red drone are both Source One frames.
Right. I'll show you Goku. I got him over here.
So right at $1,000 for a good, decent digital flying thing, ready to pull the trigger, ready. What do they call it? Turnkey.
Oh yeah.
Goku.
Now see, with that one you got the battery on top. This one here, the battery goes on the bottom.
Yeah, I don't like that because that's where I'm going to take the hardest hits.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of that style.
Same as Source One. Hold them up to each other. There's very little difference.
That's the X. That's why I said that's a race frame. That's that X-Class race frame style where the battery's on the bottom. They figure the drone's going to be flying like this the whole time, so if it's going to hit,
oh,
they don't want the battery on the top.
Okay. Top mountain, less inspiration. There you go. Yeah. Well, so, okay. Well, it won't be long and I'll be ready to pull the trigger on this.
Good, man. It'll be good to see you getting up there. Whee!
But I need to, I got some other things I need to do first. I'm going to buy a TIG welder and.
That's my next thing, Mel.
TIG welder?
Oh yeah, Dan wants to build a go-kart with a 1,000cc sport bike engine in it next.
Oh, wow.
I wanna take something out to Rampage this year that is gonna blow people's minds at the FPV event.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one.
All right.
Well, you said that an hour ago, Rodney.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then Dan showed up.
good looking, kept him around. See?
No, actually, yeah. Okay, I'll give in. Just this once, Dan.
All right.
But we
All
both
this-
know that pretty is not you.
Except
man.
while he had that helmet on.
Hey.
Well,
that was pretty awesome.
That was pretty awesome.
Now, did you
Good
buy
for a
that,
good
Dan, or
laugh.
is it 3D printed?
No, I got a bunch of different helmets for my barbarian stuff that I
Oh.
do. Yeah, ever since I made my other I mean, Mel, you know what happened. I took my normal channel and went motorcycles and scooters because it was bigger and just made more sense to take that platform and make the change now. And then just create another channel just specifically for the drone stuff again, just because it's going nowhere and it's kind of like a dying thing at this point. I'm just having fun with it. So I don't.
Yeah, it's hard to build on the drone thing anymore. I think we've drained that. Yep.
Yeah, it's tapped hard.
We've
even
that pond.
I've been talking to Ken, the original Dobo, and I'm making a video again here with him next week. Actually, this is weird. He invited me to do this one with him, so. But he's like, dude, I'm ready to change it up. I was like, dude, you and everyone else at this point, like,
which is why I moved into the MKRC thing and started that and TikTok and RC rock crawlers and
right.
You know, I'm getting into the ground vehicles and custom builds and yeah, it's way more fun to me.
I mean, we entered into a niche thing, all of us. This was very niche. I think what we all gained from this was friendship and meeting a lot of cool people that just are in the same thing that we do.
Yep.
You know, outside of that, all the people that were seeking internet fame from drones, there were only a few people that were selectively going to grow. I think most of us knew that. And the people that are still trying, I'm pretty sure you should probably find another hobby.
Hey, I want to say good morning to Fly Zone Drone. Good morning, Michael. So, all right, guys. Well,
so Doc, give me a call. We'll visit.
Say what?
There you go.
I told Doc, I said, give me a call. We'll visit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Rodney, a wise man once told me, other than you and Dan, that to make a good, solid decision, you need to speak to as many people as possible. Surround yourself with those that are successful, and you too will become successful. So I'm still going to, plug some ears and listen to some opinions, but I may take the advice of getting a different frame. Now, whether or not I'll take the advice of using these parts, that I don't know yet.
Well, that
seems like the other parts are cheap enough. I mean, if I buy all new stuff, then I know it's new and dependable, and these parts can become spares if need be.
There you go.
Then that way, when or if I do crash and break something, I won't be down for a week waiting for a part to come. I'll just come to this one and get parts, right?
Can I throw logic in on this one real fast?
Okay.
I would rather upgrade than downgrade. So when I say that, I mean, like, you're talking about flying errors, and then if you need to source a part, the problem is you're going from a I assume you're building a 6S setup. So if you're going from a 6S setup, you can't really source parts from a 4S setup. Like, you don't want to go from an F7 F8 flight controller back to an F4. Doesn't make sense. So it's easier to start off.
I can't put Nissan parts on my Silverado. That's true.
So it's like, if you just start with that one, break it, then upgrade as you go, then it's easier that way. It's cheaper too. So all of a sudden you're like, oh, I burned a flight controller. Okay, just pop it out, get a newer flight controller, boom, done. Okay. So motor goes, oh, well, just replace all the motors then. Ding, 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 ding. You see what I mean? Like, that's how we operate normally. And it just, instead of, because it's just
I guess that makes sense. I'll give you that. That's a little more logical. I'll give you that.
I try.
Yes, Dan, you do try. You are very trying sometimes.
I'm trying. I beat
and
Rodney, drum, buddy.
Rodney is an amazing guy.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, you're an amazing guy in your field, and you stand in your field, and you stand alone, and you stand tall.
That I do.
Thanks for letting me come in and visit and
Well, Mel,
learn
it's always a pleasure
and
having you,
learn.
brother.
Road trip starts tomorrow, so a lot of the quad guys aren't going to know any of this stuff, but yeah, I'll be in Fort Smith, Van Buren, Little Rock,
Tampa, Florida.
maybe St. Louis, probably St. George area, Utah, maybe Las Vegas area, and maybe even Southern California before it's over with. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to end up. That's what my ex-girlfriend said, Doc. She said she wanted to go 7-inch. I said, you never go back to 12. Anyway, we'll see y'all later. Ooh. Rodney, thank you.
You're welcome, Mel. Have a good one, brother.
Dan,
Later, Mel.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dan, thanks
Yeah.
for coming in, brother.
Yeah, man. I'll catch you guys on the flip. Have fun. Doing my normal thing. So,
Yep. Have a good one.
deuces.
Everybody in the chat, you guys have a great weekend. I do appreciate you being in the chat. Hope you enjoyed this conversation that we had. I really didn't intend for it to go this long, but I'm kind of glad it did because I learned some stuff and we was able to teach Mel some stuff. So anyway, folks, you all have a great weekend. Don't forget tomorrow, the Sunday Sunrise Crew, starting with Joan Bum in New York, coming to me here in Virginia, going to Dennis Lovelady. If Fly Natural flies, he will be flying from Arkansas, and Chris Hope will be after him. If he doesn't fly tomorrow, then Chris Hope will be right after Dennis Lovelady. Following Chris Hope will be Johnny Drone Flyer with Jones and Coffee, so stay tuned for that. Y'all have a great weekend. Love y'all. Bye now.